Do right now is you want to learn how to export a video. Remember, you have to export your videos if you want other people to actually view them, not on your computer. Exporting will allow you to upload them to YouTube or to send them to the announcements for GM97, or maybe put them in Google Drive or your Gmail and share with a friend. So we're going to be exporting a video, and all you need to do is to follow these steps. Now, I'm going to show you a little bit more complicated version than we did in the past because I want to make sure that you can do this really cleanly. So you can see right now that I have a timeline up. I'm in my editing workspace. I'm going to point out that if I were to have what a lot of you have on your videos, you might have a bunch of cuts of different clips at the very end of your video. These may be things back here that you aren't going to use. Always make sure that I clean those up. If you choose not to clean them up, say that you want them there because you're continuing to work, but maybe you're handing in a rough draft, you can leave them there, but you're going to have to do the method that I'm going to show you right now, okay? So either you delete these and then start to export, or you set an in and an out point. So right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my playhead at the very beginning to set an in point. So this is the beginning of my clip. All I do is I click mark in right here. All right, then I go to the end of my video. Let's just say that the end of my video, and you can kind of see that it's not perfect here. Let's just say the end of my video happens to be right about here. Okay, this is where I want to, actually I guess I can, right here. So I want to stop right here. So that's the end of my video. I'm going to click mark out. Now, you can see that I have kind of a light gray shading between my mark in and my mark out. If I wanted to, I could extend it by just using my selection tool and dragging. But right now it's exactly how I want it to be. This is what I want to export. So remember, I still have other things back here, and the reason that I might have them back here is I'm continuing to work on my rough draft, so I might have some clips back there that I don't want to put into my my video yet, or maybe I just want to set an in and out point. You know, sometimes for me what happens is if I continue to use the same like template or beginning, same sequence for the announcements, and I just keep changing them up a little bit so I have an in and out point so that I can keep some items that I continually use over and over again on the sequence without actually exporting. So back to this, I've got my in and out point set. I go to File, I go to Export Media. Then we wait. Then we want to make sure that the format says H.264. This will save an MP4 file. I also want to make sure that my output name, and all I do is I click on this. Once I click on it, I'll get a Finder window coming up. Again, it takes a little while sometimes. And I'm going to go to my actual folder for my project. I'm going to go to Exports. I'm going to make sure I'm telling it where I want it to save. I'm going to name it something that makes sense. I often ask people to name it by the name of the video, maybe like making it count or whatever, and then write first cut, maybe rough cut, final cut in the title as well to differentiate between them so that you can go back and find the appropriate one, because you might have several exports of the same video. Then I click Save. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit export. I do know that Q is the one that is highlighted here, but we want to hit export. Sometimes it takes a long time. It depends on what you have on your timeline. If you have a lot of motion graphics or a lot of, I don't know, a lot of other things, or maybe there's some things running in the background, you might notice that it takes a really long time to export your video. This one shouldn't take too terribly long, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to fast forward through this, actually maybe not. Maybe I'll just talk. You can fast forward. How about that? Makes my life a little easier. But basically, it might take a while, so make sure that you leave time at the end of the block if you're going to be exporting for the end of the block. At least, I would say at least 10 minutes if you want to be safe. I mean, I know that that gives you some extra downtime. And as a teacher, I'm not supposed to tell you to do things that give you extra downtime, but it can take a while. I think that Faith, she was saying that the first video that hit her, she did, took 17 minutes to export. So right now I'm continuing to talk. You're either fast forwarding or listening to me blab on. One thing that might make it take a little bit longer is having a lot of other items up in the background. So, for example, this one's taking me a little bit longer than I expected. But if I go to Force Quit, you can see that I've got Chrome up, I've got Spotify, I've got TextEdit, I've got Zoom. I've got a few things that are open at the same time. So that might be one of the reasons why it's a little bit slower. The other part is that maybe it just isn't as fast as I thought it was. And if you haven't fast forwarded yet, man, you really should be. So we have about 45 seconds left. Sometimes what I notice is the time isn't exact. So I've done videos where it told me it was going to take me 2 hours and I'll come back a half hour later and it's actually done. So it's just an estimate. It's not going to be 100% accurate. Don't freak out too much. If you do end up getting a video that takes a long time and you're sitting in class, I might even be able to do the final transport through AirDrop to my computer. Just have to tell me in case you can't get it turned in. All right, so here we go. It is completely finished. If I were to go, and I always do this, if I were to go and check to make sure that my file was done correctly, all I have to do is go into my export folder. I'm going to just double click on it. It's going to open up in QuickTime. That's this right here. When it opens up, let's make sure that the audio works, although I don't think this one actually had audio. Audio works and that it's exactly what we wanted. I noticed that sometimes people will give me 20-minute long videos or they'll give me things that I don't need, or maybe the audio doesn't work, and that is something that you should go back and then correct. Like I said, I think this one doesn't even have audio. I just pulled some stock from the internet. Yeah, it doesn't. If it was supposed to have audio, then what I would do is make sure I'd go back and make the correction and re-export. But like I said, this one was just stock footage from the internet that didn't have sound on it. And I guess I can see that right here. All right, so that is how you export a video.